Welcome back, friends. Lascar here, and it's time for more The Greatest Attorney. And we gotta turn the jury again. Summation Examination, Round 2. Great. Freaking great. You're got to be kidding me. Here we go again. Here we go. Oh, I gotta check volume. I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? So the idea is, I try to be a higher tone to that judge, in that I try to be smiley as I'm doing it, which should affect my voice. Whereas the regular judge is more dour, and so it's a deeper tone and I'm more frowny in it. We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Round 2. Let's see if I remember these voices. Yeah, they're... Yeah. So, okay. Western guy, Southern Belle, Galley, whatever the hell I've given her. And then just, I keep doing the same voice for the fifth juror. And then old man. She's like, what, Sonny? What? The hell did you say? Juror's contentions. Here we go. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his. If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it? Dearie me, it was only a little book. Hardly life-threatening even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tight bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. What does that have to do with anything? Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. Is it? Is it? With one notable exception, of course. Which one? Which one? My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover... How many? Is that the third? No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way. That means, I'm afraid, that during this summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Goose. Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman, and how? These 2 details are all you need provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was thinking this might be hard. But Mr. Naruto, you have to do it. Otherwise this really will be where this trial ends. No pressure then. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel? Oh, yes, my lord. Alright, Renosuke, focus your mind now. Slap! Double slap, apparently. 1 for each cheek. Clear the key to the summation examination. He's going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Miss Garrett. We have a book that disappeared from the Garrett's house on the evening of the incident. And the 4th book found in the victim's hand. There must be a way to link the 2. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far. Whatever it takes. Don't forget to keep an eye on Miss Garrett and how she reacts. Even to the things other people say. Oh, we're gonna do that now? Okay. The defense's rebuttal. I'm still at 4? I thought we did to be continued. What? I thought I'd get new ones between chapters. Between things. Alright. Press. But as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it make? There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes, that's the part I have a problem with. Sorry? Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said. That's not exactly how I put it, no. Well, anyway, the point is, the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fella. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it? Palaver? I suppose it is, since I have nothing witty left to say. So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean?
Oh my, such delight on your face, but I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I'm a very modern, metropolitan, international woman.
That's great. That's great. That isn't quite. That's great.
If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan, international thinking. Wouldn't you say?
And not at all extreme. Or informed.
As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So despite 1 or 2 minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say?
Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern metropolitan young lady.
Right. I'm glad you admitted rational there. But what about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners just like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Then what's the point of even having windows, huh? Oh my god! Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering. Sorry. Somehow I need to show there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. You mean 'cause of the smoke? Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise. You mean the smoke? But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not?
With flames of love, I'll have you know.
There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb. Why does she keep attacking him?
Well, he brought it upon himself. It's playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree?
Of course, I should be saying that angrier, but I've made that voice too damn soft. Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Miss Garrett. It's like, whoa!
Never mind you that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute. Nothing more. And I won't have any more of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime.
Right, well, we'll see about that, but what about juror number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Miss Garrett's relentless onslaughts. Yeah, he's a tough guy.
It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is.
Yeah, she keeps hitting him.
Hold it!
You just want to get this over with. How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future's at stake here. Well, him and me both then, like I said before. What? I told you already. I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? You heard me? My missus isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me.
Another shining example of marital bliss, and then...
A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well, do you know? It's funny, but I can't quite remember.
Sorry?
It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out.
Helpful? I wonder if Mr. Beat will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf.
Don't even go there, Miss Don't even go there, Mr. Sato.
There must be some way to jog his memory about this. I'm an old man.
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry? What's that? You'll have to speak up, lad.
Could you tell us more about that fire?
It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top. It did. What a sight to behold it was.
You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship?
Of course not. It was an angel cake. To celebrate my birthday, obviously. It seems that it's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke.
Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. Oh my god. And by the sneezes, I assume you mean a cold? But how did you catch a cold from a fire?
What if you ask who it was? The grandchildren, bless them, threw water all over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it out.
There it is.
The windows. The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it. It put me in hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry.
I know it was devil worship after all. But something about that old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. It's easy enough, why?
We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street. As well as how he or she could have done it.
Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary.
I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation.
Yes. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. This connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike.
That's the spirit.
Alright, the window versus... Yeah, winter houses, fires, or dire. You have to open windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets to you, you see. There.
Objection!
Boys, these two jurors' statements clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel?
Golly, don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me. Huh? What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up.
You're number 3. Do you see?
Oh, me? See what? See what, sir?
Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebration last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh! Wow, that horse just crossed the line, huh? Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garrett household. And Mr. Garrett had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my.
Oh, my hat! Oh, yeah, let's get her now, let's get her now! Get her! Get that ass! Get that ass! Oh, also she's drinking a lot of tea, Jesus. Alright, 3, 4, 5, 6, she's still going. 7, 8, she's going to town on that tea. 9, 10, okay, let's stop.
Excuse me.
Ma'am, you're drinking a lot of tea. Drink number 4, do you have something to say about that? Miss Garrett!
Oh, dearie me! What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am?
It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now.
What is it?
When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window?
What? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating?
The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window.
And what if we did?
Huh?
Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window. Which can't have been easy, since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering.
Even though your house was on fire?
Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise.
Of course, I should have realized.
That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garrett's formal statement. Now you mention it, yes, the window was open at the time. I'd clean forgotten, but it's true.
Okay, let's see here. What does that do? Now he's open to possibility now. So do I pit these two? I'm a bit confused. Well, I guess I pit these two. Let's see what happens here. I guess you don't. Press him instead.
Hold it.
At the point when the victim was attacked on Briar Road, we know there was a small house fire in the Garrett household on the opposite side of the street. Well, yes, it certainly seems that way. And on account of the smoke, I imagine they would have had the windows wide open in spite of the cold. We also know that Miss Garrett was throwing flaming books at her husband. Her husband, who was backed into a corner by the window due to his wife's frenzied attack. He's going to town right now.
Yes, that's right.
So there's definitely a chance that one of the books could have flown past the man and out of the window.
Only.
Only what? Only I can't really see how it could have gone all the way over to the other side of the road, that's all. Huh. I don't really see how I can change my decision, really. Oh, I see. That wasn't enough? What is it going to take to persuade these people? I guess press her now.
Hold it.
The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrett told me he had been reading.
Huh. Well, I really couldn't say.
On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading?
I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I held it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset?
Because I couldn't, you innocent little man. I don't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, well you know.
I really don't.
I barely noticed I was throwing a book.
Oh boy.
Much less the title of it.
What? What's got you, brah? Okay, let's see. What's got you? Did the book hit him? Something hit him? What is it? Juror number 5? You know something? I remembered what it was. That memory I blocked out. Huh. I was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought it all flooding back. Granny.
Who are you calling her granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Miss Garrett or the maid, I'll have you know.
Or the maid. Real quick, isn't she like 30? 38. She's not a granny. Ouch. How old is this guy? Oh, we can't see this guy's age, can we? No, the jury's not in here. Okay. I don't know, this guy could be like, I don't know, 28? A thick 28 boy?
The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time.
It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like. I put my hand in my pocket for wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh, damn.
Oh dear, what a disaster.
You haven't heard the half of it, boy.
Oh?
My wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost a day's wages, Liv. But next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck into the wall next to me, it did. About an inch deep. Ah,
no words, just terror.
I could smell it then, you know, that god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure it was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it?
I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you know it.
Miss Nadahoda, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Throwing household objects at people as well. It's so uncivilized. At least act with honor, using a bow or the like.
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think.
Alright, well, come back to the bow and arrow thing later if I dare. A wound of rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me.
Oh.
I guess we'll just press him, right?
Hold it!
Your wife really threw a kitchen knife at you? That's right, she was chopping meat with it. Had a tiny edge on it, too. Believe me. Still, it's all memories, isn't it? It started with that smile she threw me when we were courting. And since then, the list of things she's thrown at me has grown along with our relationship. There was a cup, then a glass, then a pot, a kettle, a chair, a wardrobe, a cooker, a bathtub. Your wife must be even beefier than you. And things came to a head last week when she threw me right into the Thames. Still, she's not as bad as when she's calmed down. She's a little sweetheart, really.
I'm so happy for you.
You want to know what I think? I think this whole idea of ladies first that we're so obsessed with in this country was thought up by some clever lads who'd been tossed into the Thames a few too many times by their wives.
Huh, that's a very interesting theory. What a terrible thought.
You have flipped him how many times? On the face of it, this juror's statement just sounds like a really extreme anecdote. But I think it might turn out to be an extremely powerful weapon. A weapon I might be able to use to make the jurors accept an alternative explanation here. What, are we gonna go after the maid? Let's see what's this side of things. So the window was open when the Garrett's were arguing that day.
Yes, Mrs. Garrett has finally admitted to it. Which is a very significant victory for the defense.
I feel like the fog's starting to clear. An alternative explanation to this case is starting to show up. That's it. Shoot. Oh man, I don't know. Okay, let's see if anything new comes out of these old ones. Nothing I can really pit with here, but I was hoping that other people talking might have made him say more things. And then he's like, whoa! Alright. Whoa, okay, we didn't get those lines before. Wait, whoa. Go back!
Everybody knows I was throwing a book, much less the title of it.
Right, totally understandable.
I mean, you can't waste time deciding what to use next, can you? When you feel the way I did, you don't care what it is. You just want it to smash into his face.
It's like, whoa! You see where violence can lead, Mrs. Soto?
I'm disheartened to think you might believe me capable of such behavior.
How many times did you flip me, girl?
Anyway, I have a feeling I might have noticed someone reacting a little strangely to Miss Garrett's reaction just now.
Remarks. Oh, perhaps I missed something while I was preoccupied. No, we did not. Now him. Okay, nothing new there. Also, there's the old man. Check him again. Yeah, it may seem like I'm supposed to go after the lady with him, but maybe I am. But do this real quick. Anything new here? Did you change your statement from before?
Oh yes, it was one of my most memorable birthdays, you see. I couldn't let it go unremembered.
I'm sure the defendant will be delighted that you're using his trial to explore your past. And how is that memory related to this case exactly?
Sorry? What's that? I have to speak up, I'm afraid.
Never mind. He's as deaf as a post when he wants to be. But actually, this old man's anecdote might just be to provide the alternative explanation I need to make my point to some of the other jurors.
We used hand-lit candles on my...
Okay. Let's just do the pit! Let's try! Let's try! Here we go!
Objection!
Oh, music changed. These two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once. Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative?
Oh my, what do you mean?
An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back? What are you talking about? We demonstrated that the fourth book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garrett's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other objects besides the book could have found its way from the Garrett's household to the street below. What's that now? After all, Miss Garrett could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4?
What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole?
I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened. Now you listen here, Eastern Gala. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You gave us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it? I'm really taking a big gamble here. There's a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least, this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garrett household to the scene of the crime was... gotta be the knife!
Take that!
Juror number 4, Miss Garrett.
What? What now?
I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before?
Ah.
Good Lord, Consul! What on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged in the victim's back, man. Woo! Woo! My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett were in the throes of an argument. Miss Garrett was hurling anything she could at her husband, who had been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that the book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out the window across the street to land neatly in her hand? Even my missus hasn't got a name like that. Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why. We must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Oh my.
Miss Garrett, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? She fainted? Thud. Yep, she fainted. Okay. My lord.
My lord, I wish to change my decision.
Oh, blame!
I'm a woman of my word, after all.
Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions. But, Mr. Foreman! I'd have to agree. Not that I think the Granite didn't mind. Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. Okay. All together now, ladies and gentlemen. Majority! Alright, we're back in it. Back in the game. We did it!
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo.
So as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. And this trial will continue. Bravo. Now then, Lord Von Zeeks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed?
This trial is rapidly descending into a farce.
Drink and...
Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough.
Throw!
But what follows is so repugnant it's good for nothing save the gutter.
If I may, Lord Von Zeeks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened.
Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman?
The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond.
But let me start by insisting.
But you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time?
It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garrett household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Garrett house to the scene is some, 15 yards. Let me see, 15 yards? That's around 14 meters.
14 meters? Oh, that's a little farther than I'd imagined.
And as the ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having portentous significance, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches.
In other words, the smoldering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards. It landed on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? And did the jackknife follow a near-identical trajectory to the plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. There's nothing I can say to that. That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Mrs. Sato! Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Alright. Maybe let's pick our battles here. My lord, might I be allowed to speak? As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense, yes? Go ahead. The prosecution may consider that the idea of fantasy, or what the defense has postulated, was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leanings. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end... Juror number 4, Miss Joan Garrett, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. Oh my god! Saints alive! I'm one of them. A cross-examination of a juror? Woohoo! That's something. Order, 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 for this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
Toss! He barely drinks any of these bottles, he's so wasteful. And unnecessary. Lord Von Zeeks? Ah! There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth in it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. We must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witnesses? Yes, sir. Constable Riley Bean reporting for duty, sir. Huh. Well? Good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing until now. Sir, I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir. Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, Riley, my hero, you make me swoon. Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request. Oh. And order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir. All right. Okay, this episode was a bit, I just got in the weeds trying to figure things out on this one. I definitely did. So we'll see how about things go next time with the Constable Beats report. So that is it for now. Not my strongest episode. We'll do better next time for sure. I have fun. Hope you have fun watching. That's what's all about it. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.